post a boomerang of himself drinking tea with the caption, "Patience is everything." However, back in court, things were about to get even wilder when the next witness, a former friend of Chrissy's who was protected by Jane Doe status, testified that Chrissy had allegedly confided in her years prior. Jane Doe continued by accusing Chrissy of justifying the secrecy by stating, "I couldn't risk him finding out. It would ruin everything," about an accident that resulted in a child and how she had no plans to ever tell Jim. The courtroom audibly gasped again, and the judge banged the gavel twice, for the first time since the scandal broke. Jim reportedly looked up and stared straight ahead, his face unblinking. And he was afraid that the truth would destroy not only their relationship, but also their lucrative reality TV deals, endorsements, and public image as the couple. This wasn't just betrayal. The rumors outside the courtroom had turned into full-fledged media storms, with tabloids screaming headlines and the baby bombshell that finally exposed Jim Jones's darkest secret. The memes were merciless. One viral hit featured Jim's famous "Fly High" video with the caption changed to "Cry High," while another featured Mona Scott Young. While the public laughed, the defense, evidently shaken, argued that none of the evidence proved anything definitively. The alleged texts were taken out of context. The payments were charitable family support. The witness testimony was untrustworthy. Hearsay, and the devil horns were allegedly planning how to spin this into 10 new Love and Hip Hop episodes. Fans loved it. The courtroom was electric as reporters frantically typed notes. Courtroom sketch artists captured every dramatic reaction, and fans outside were live streaming in the hopes of catching even a shadow of Jim or Chrissy walking. The judge said that more witnesses would be heard the next day, including a potential appearance from Mr. X himself, from a former friend who had turned opportunist. The world waited for Mr. X to arrive and finally reveal the truth, for Chrissy to break her silence, for Jim to even recover from this, for Cameron's petty reign to continue, and for Jim to leave without saying anything. In or out, Jim stood slowly, pulled the hood back over his head, and left without speaking to anyone. Cameron trailed behind him, wearing a sly smile that suggested he had one more surprise in store. The media called the court date judgment day for Dipset. Supporters gathered with placards that read, "Jim, blink twice if you're okay." Another cruelly read, "Chrissy had a whole side quest and Jim didn't even get the side mission notification." Then, as if the gods were in charge, when the unconfirmed news flashed across everyone's phones that Mr. X was on his way to New York to testify, the streets went crazy. According to reports, helicopters were already airborne, security was doubled, and the internet did what it does best. It made wild accusations and predictions. Day 3 of the trial was just hours away, and as the sun set over New York City, the only question on everyone's mind was whether Jim Jones would lose not just his relationship, but his entire legacy. The fans didn't have long to wait, as the countdown had begun with screenshots and, of course, memes. The world waited in suspense as the phony experts got ready to flood the courthouse once more. The scandal wasn't slowing down. In fact, it was about to blow up again. The sun rose over Manhattan, but the city felt heavier and darker, as if even the concrete knew what was going to happen. Crowds had already gathered outside the courthouse at dawn, and some people skipped work. Influencers from other states were streaming live from the steps, TikTokers were rehearsing their shocked facial reactions, and news vans were lining the block. On the third day of the trial, which was officially renamed "The Day Mr. Her X Arrives," an unmarked black SUV pulled up, and when the door opened, a tall, sharply dressed man wearing a navy suit and dark glasses emerged. The crowd gasped, thinking that this might be him at last. Was this the enigmatic Mr. X? The reporters frantically pushed microphones at him, but he said nothing. He just straightened his tie and entered the building. Jim Jones was sitting in the courtroom, silently, with his lawyers by his side. His hood was gone, and his face was bare and exhausted. This was not the bigger the judge entered, called for silence, and the final day of testimony started when Mr. X took the stand. The gallery leaned forward as if they were watching the pieces of Harlem Hustler's life fall apart. A moment later, Cameron walked in wearing a Dipset varsity jacket and a look that said, "I live for this mess." The gasps came exactly as Mr. X, who was about to hear the verdict of a murder trial under oath, confirmed that he had known Chrissy for years and that their relationship had once been more than just friends, claiming that during a brief but intense affair many years ago, Chrissy became pregnant and gave birth in secret. He declared that he had respected her wishes, but had always been involved in the child's life from a distance. The courtroom sat in stunned silence as Jim Jones looked up for the first time in hours, and his eyes locked on the man who had told him the truth. Out of fear that it would ruin their relationship and her career, Mr. X then disclosed what sent Twitter into a tailspin. He claimed to be the father of the child his own fiancée had concealed, whispering, "I gave her everything." He said that he and Chrissy had signed a private legal agreement to keep everything secret, including Chrissy's monthly child support payments. There was a document that was allegedly so secret that even Jim's own lawyers were unaware that it existed. And yes, the court had a copy. As soon as the news broke, the crowd outside erupted, and within seconds, memes about Chris's secret child, Mr. X or Jim Jones's trial went viral. One post featured Jim Jones's Dipset chain edited with the words "trust issues" rather than "diplomats." Meanwhile, back inside, the defense rushed to protest, claiming that the documents were not authenticated, that Mr. X was pursuing fame, and that everything he had said was a well-crafted lie intended to undermine a well-known couple. However, the damage had already been done, and the court of public opinion had already issued its decision at lunchtime. Jim left the building, surrounded by security cameras that recorded the moment the judge addressed the elephant in the room. As proceedings resumed, although this case was officially still a civil dispute, the shocking evidence presented had drawn the attention of state and federal investigators. Chrissy was nowhere to be seen, but Cameron emerged eating a hot dog and waving to fans like he was walking a red carpet. Rumors of fraud, money laundering, and unreported child support funds began to circulate like vultures. And several record labels started to quietly withdraw their contracts with Jim's sponsors. Reality TV producers discussed whether to cancel or intensify the next season, and the fallout was occurring in real time by the end of the day. Jim's lawyer asked the judge to grant an emergency adjournment so that they could review the new evidence and prepare a defense against possible criminal exposure. The judge said that the court would meet again in 2 weeks, but the headlines couldn't wait. Jim Jones, the hip-hop icon, claimed victory as he spiraled into a career crisis. And Chrissy's child bombshell may bring down the Dipset empire. Of course, social media had its own interpretation. A popular TikTok thread dubbed Jim the new Tristan Thompson of hip-hop sparked a debate on Twitter about whether Chrissy had been playing the long game for years. Some fans asked for forgiveness, while others said that Jim was done. As the courtroom cleared, Jim reportedly stood for a few seconds before leaving by himself. Cameron allegedly walked by and laughed under his breath. The most dramatic courtroom drama in recent hip-hop history ended abruptly, but the aftershocks had only just started. The following morning, the Dipset merch store mysteriously went offline, and Jim's social media accounts remained silent. His breath told you. No one knows if Jim heard it or not. She finally broke her silence by sharing a mysterious black square without a caption, which only served to increase rumors about whether it was an apology, a power move, or a farewell. Meanwhile, Cameron hosted a surprise Instagram live event called Petty Wins Again, in which he gave his followers a recap of the entire drama while sipping tea and listening to background instrumentals. He concluded the stream with one the story dominated headlines for weeks. And every blogger, podcaster, and couch detective had a theory. Finally, I didn't have to find out on TMZ because legal experts weighed in on every media platform. Could Chrissy be charged with fraud? Could Jim sue for emotional damages? Would Mr. X now seek custody? Fans wondered. There are currently no definitive answers. Chrissy is still silent, Jim is still missing, Cam is still Cam, and the world is still glued to the mess. So, do you think Chrissy is the ultimate villain, or is there more to this story? Nobody knows if Jim was caught off guard or if he ignored warning signs. Will Cameron ever grow weary of being the king of petty spoilers? There isn't a doubt that is just the beginning. There will be more leaks, receipts, and courtroom drama. You won't want to miss it. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Which side are you on? Thank you for liking this video, smash the subscribe button, and turn on notifications. I promise you'll want to be the first to know when the next bombshell drops. Don't get too comfortable because this story is far from over. We want to hear your wildest theories in the comments sec. Men thought he could get away with it, but I'm going to tell you everything. Fans weren't the only people reacting to the incident. Celebrities and business executives also had something to say. Many of Mendeecees' friends who had previously supported him began to distance themselves from him, while others turned to social media to express their dissatisfaction. His close friends' silence spoke louder than words could. The once close-knit community surrounding Mendeecees, the more he denied the accusations, the more he seemed to be trying to conceal the truth. Mendeecees tried to project confidence as the story developed. He claimed in an exclusive interview that Tasha K's accusations were nothing more than a campaign of defamation, saying in a frustrated tone, "I haven't done anything wrong, and this is nothing more than a series of falsehoods propagated to damage my reputation." About Yandi, she mainly stayed silent and posted only occasional updates about her family, but supporters didn't let things go so easily. The scandal only increased public curiosity, and fans took sides in the ongoing dispute, making hashtags like #TeamYondandy and #TeamErica trend. Some fiercely supported Yandi, while others sided with Erica, claiming that she had been the one who had been treated unfairly. One headline read, "Manx's secret child caught Yandi off guard." Another headline yelled, "Erica Mina breaks silence on the baby scandal." Still others, who felt that Mendeecees had wronged her, continued to defend him. There was a noticeable buzz among her fans. Who knew that anything she possessed would completely alter the story and would be enough to destroy Mendeecees' world forever? The people seemed to enjoy the way the story was twisted with each new update. It was evident that had developed into a full-fledged media spectacle rather than merely a personal scandal. Tasha K released another bombshell. She claimed to have additional proof that would definitively establish Mendeecees' deceit. Mendeecees and Yandi had to mend their broken relationship in the interim, with the hope that she would leave Mendeecees and find happiness on her own. Yandi supporters continued to support them, but many people secretly wondered if this incident would be the last straw. Time would tell, and fans eagerly awaited the next chapter in this never-ending story. Would Mendeecees have to face reality, or would he continue to deny everything? Would she support her boyfriend, or would Yandi find the resolve to continue? And most importantly, although the answers were still unknown, one thing was certain: the drama was far from over. As public interest in the men's secret child grew, the media storm intensified, and fans were kept on the edge of their seats as new details about the ongoing saga emerged daily. Tasha K's videos, which became the go-to source for the most recent information, felt like an endless boxing match as she continued to give her fans sneak peeks at new evidence, leaving them all wondering what would come to light next. Meanwhile, tension between Mendeecees and Yandi reached a breaking point. Mendeecees tried to maintain as much of his reputation as possible, but his efforts were failing. The damage was already done, regardless of how many declarations he made, and his story was no longer believed by the fans. In contrast, Yandi seemed to be putting on a brave front. Based on her social media posts, which were full of inspirational sayings and pictures of her children, she seemed to be focusing on her family. However, the two of them were rarely speaking, and their relationship, which had been built on years of trust, was now deteriorating in public view. In an article, she said that sometimes the strongest people are the ones who smile through the pain. It was clear that Yandi was in pain. Would she continue to live with Mendeecees, or would this scandal be the final straw? According to insiders, Mendeecees tried to arrange a public meeting with Yandi in an attempt to salvage his marriage, but Yandi was not amenable to it. Instead of meeting with him in public, she posted a message that read, "I have no time for games. And Erica mostly remained silent during this turbulent time." She had only posted a few ambiguous posts on social media, leaving everyone wondering what she would do next. While some admirers believed she was waiting for Mendeecees to approach, others speculated that she was preparing for a public appearance, was interpreted by her supporters as her announcement that the relationship was over. No additional information was provided, only a comment that left everyone wondering if Yandi would permanently leave Mendeecees. "It's not just about a baby," Tasha said in a dramatic tone. "It's about deceit, manipulation, and treachery." In any case, Erica had managed to maintain an unexpected level of composure. The drama in her life was getting worse. After everything seemed to be at its peak, Tasha K made her most shocking admission to date in a live broadcast, revealing that Mendeecees had been secretly giving money to Era for years, even when he was married to Yandi. Yandi was not aware of the double life that Mendeecees was leading behind her back. Fans were shocked to learn that having a secret child and an affair was one thing, but supporting Erica financially while still married to Yandi was too much for many. Fans turned their attention to Mendeecees' alleged private life. The story quickly went viral on social media, and Mendeecees supporters started to question his moral character even more. How could someone who had claimed to have grown and changed over time still be leading such a dishonest life? But Yandi's supporters were furious and flooded her social media with supportive messages telling her to permanently leave Mendeecees. 1. Fan wrote, "Queen, he's not worth it. You and your family deserve to be respected by someone." Nevertheless, Yandi's silence spoke louder than words could. Despite the calls from many for her to leave, she hadn't yet taken any public actions to distance herself from Mendeecees. Some people thought she was just waiting for the right moment to leave, while others thought Mins was trying to make amends behind the scenes, saying that she would stand by her husband no matter what and was trying to protect her family. According to those close to him, he was doing everything he could to patch things up with Yandi, even going so far as to hire a relationship counselor. Was it enough, though? Seemed like Yandi was more determined than ever, despite everything she had gone through with Mendeecees. Was worse than anything she had ever experienced. Was the trust destroyed, or could she really forgive him for this? The circus was growing larger and larger. Tabloids published exclusive insider reports about the affair and the secret child, claiming that Mendeecees had been leading a double life for years, juggling his marriage to Yandi and his affair with Erica while trying to maintain his public image. The chaos was intensified by rumors that Mendeecees was trying to patch things up with Erica by asking her to live with him and the family, with each of her films appearing to be more spectacular than the last and now receiving millions of views. When she revealed this shocking information, many of her fans dubbed her the Queen of Gossip and devoured every word. However, some critics began to question her motives. Had Tasha Kova done something inappropriate in her pursuit of clicks and views? Some admirers claimed that Tasha was becoming too enmeshed in the attraction and crossing moral lines to gain attention. Despite the criticism, Tasha seemed to enjoy the attention and promised even more shocking revelations in the days ahead. In the meantime, Mendeecees' once close friends had been noticeably silent in the Love and Hip Hop series, and none of his co-stars had stood up for him. Fans wondered if they avoided him to avoid the consequences or if they had known the truth all along and had kept quiet. Mendeecees was now fighting on all fronts no matter what. His family, marriage, and reputation were all on the line, and it seemed like things were getting out of control. The drama didn't seem to be slowing down, and every new revelation only made things worse. The entire plot seemed to center on Yandy's decision. The globe eagerly awaited the next shocking development in this never-ending drama. Would she decide to stay with Mendeecees or move on? Would she continue to defend her family? The turmoil surrounding Mendeecees, Yandy, Erica, and Tasha K only grew worse over the days. Every new piece of information seemed to fuel the fire, and the public was demanding more updates. The media's constant scrutiny of Mendeecees. Every move seemed to be undermining his attempts to salvage his relationship with Yandy. Yandy was fighting an emotional battle behind closed doors, and even their children seemed to be affected by the ongoing conflict. According to family sources, Yandy wondered about the future of her marriage and whether she would ever be able to trust Mendeecees again. In contrast, Yandy remained composed despite the public's criticism, and her silence was becoming more and more revealing despite the fact that she hadn't made any significant public decisions regarding her relationship. In the meantime, Erica had mostly stayed out of the spotlight following Tasha K's shocking revelation about the secret child. However, there were rumors that she was preparing to make a big announcement of her own. Would she speak out about the situation, or would she remain silent and let the drama unfold naturally? As fans speculated about her next move, the tension surrounding her only increased. Tasha K, the provocateur, was not content to watch the drama unfold. She teased her viewers with promises of much more important truths as she continued to clues about new revelations in her next videos. And her audience was waiting impatiently for her every word. As her channel's popularity soared, she was enjoying the confusion, and each video she posted seemed to add to the complexity of the situation. Her videos were suddenly getting millions of views, and she was the center of the drama. Tasha K revealed in one of her most recent films that she had discovered even darker secrets about Mendeecees' past. Do you think the controversy surrounding baby mamas is bad? She asked her audience with a curious tone. Mendeecees' image in the field suffered, and it seemed that his old acquaintances and co-workers were moving away from him. His character was now being questioned by several of his former supporters. Wait until you find out the truth about the previous relationships of men. The skeletons in that closet are starting to surface. Fans were eager to hear what she had to say after her remarks rocked the entertainment industry. Had the men been hiding even more shocking information? Or was Tasha K just spreading more sensationalized rumors to her audience? Others were more understanding. The general perception was that Mendeecees struggled to turn his life around. At the same time, Yandy's silence was becoming more and more noticeable. Although she had not publicly separated from Mendeecees yet, it was clear that the relationship was irreparably damaged. According to those close to Yandy, she had been seeing a lawyer, and some even speculated that she might be considering a divorce. But many of her admirers believed it was the only option. The whole situation escalated when Mendeecees posted a mysterious statement on his Instagram. He said, "I can't take back the harm I've caused to those I care about. I can only attempt to put things right. I'm doing my hardest to change, but I don't expect forgiveness." Yandy found divorce to be a difficult concept. One fan commented, "She deserves better. She can't tolerate any longer." Though it was unclear whether Yandy had read the post, reactions to it were not entirely consistent. Some admirers praised him for taking responsibility, while others accused him of trying to preserve his reputation. Naturally, Tasha K had a lot to say about Mendeecees' post. Oh, does he wish to apologize now? In her most recent video, she sneered, "He is a skilled manipulator. People don't believe the hype. The only reason he is apologizing is because he is under pressure. Wouldn't even be apologizing if Yandy hadn't been posting all those enigmatic messages about leaving him." Tasha's fans were devouring her harsh comments, and her channel continued to grow as the drama intensified with every new video. However, it was still unclear what Yandi would do, and fans began to demand answers because of her awful silence. Some believed she might give Mendy another chance, while others wondered if she was simply waiting for the right moment to leave. The longer she remained silent, the more divided her fanbase became, and some believed she should end her relationship with Mendeecees. In a shocking turn of events, Erica finally spoke up. Fans were shocked when she posted a statement on Instagram that read, "I've been silent for too long, but the moment has come for the truth to be revealed. I am more than just a co-parent to Mendeecees. Our narrative has much more to tell, and I'm prepared to do so." Although the message was unclear, it seemed clear that Erica was going to reveal something shocking of her own. Tasha K claimed to have known all along, taking advantage of Erica's post. In her video, she said, "See? I told y'all this is only the start. Eric is going to spill the beans, and Mendeecees will be held accountable for all of his actions." Fans were furious about what Erica would reveal. Would she expose Mendeecees' double life and other scandals? Would she verify the child in secret? The world was watching, waiting to see how this never-ending story would end. This kind of deceit never gets away with anyone. The entertainment industry was bustling, and the tension was palpable. The scandal grew larger every day, and no one knew how it would all end. Mendeecees was caught up in a maelstrom of accusations, and Yandi's silence left everyone wondering what would happen next. The plot had become even more complicated as a result of Erica's shocking announcement, and fans were eagerly awaiting the next twist. As the drama unfolds, one thing is clear: there is much more to this story than meets the eye. The entertainment world is engulfed in a maelstrom that revolves around Men's Yandandi, Erica, but what will come next? Will Mendy's world collapse under Tasha Key, the strain? Or will he ultimately make amends? Will Yandane opt to leave? Or is there still hope for their relationship? 4. And what shocking information will Erica reveal to you in the coming days? Won't want to miss any of this drama, but only time will tell. We're here to provide you updates as they unfold. All the news, exclusive details, and breathtaking findings to make sure you never miss a new video. And don't forget to hit the bell, like, and subscribe. What do you tell us in the comments section below what you believe Yandandi should do next? Will she ever trust Mendeecees again? How do you believe that Tasha K's recent claims will help her? We would, with you. Keep checking back for additional breaking news, and remember that the drama is just.